Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapti Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sati Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 17, Text 18. We heard that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha are born now. So reading on, Prajapati Nama Tayor Akashad Yaprat Swadehad Yamayor Ajayata Tamve Hiranyakashipum Vidu Praja Yam Tam Hiranyaksham Asuta Sagrataha. Prajapati Kashyap, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. And one who was born first, he named Hiranyaksha. And the one who was first conceived by Diti, he named Hiranyakashipu. Oh, we read this, right? Yeah. Okay. So reading on, 19. Chakre Hiranyakashipur Dorbayam Brahmavarena cha Vashe Sapa Lal Lokam Strin Akuto Mrityur Uda Taha. The elder child Hiranyakashipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received
Sorry, did you read the purport of the earlier one?
Yeah, we had read it yesterday. We were discussing. Remember that? The one that is conceived first, that comes out later.
Okay.
Yeah, that Hiranyaksha was he was born first, but the elder one is Hiranyakashipu because he's conceived first.
Oh yeah. Pinda Siddhi and all. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. So the elder child, Hiranyakashipu, was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. So reading from purport by Srila Prabhupada, as will be revealed in later chapters, Hiranyakashipu underwent severe austerity and penance to satisfy Brahma and thus receive a benediction of immortality. So that is going to come later when we hear about Prahlad Maharaj. I think that's in the 7th canto. Now this pastime is going to specifically be for Lord Varahadev. And so how Hiranyaksha is going to be killed. So actually it is impossible even for Lord Brahma to give anyone the benediction of becoming immortal. But indirectly, Hiranyakashipu received the benediction that no one within this material world would be able to kill him. In other words, because he originally came from the abode of Vaikuntha, he was not to be killed by anyone within this material world. The Lord desired to appear himself to kill him. So that was the mystery behind it. At Hiranyakashipu, he did a lot of austerities and he thought he's going to trick that he can't be killed, neither inside nor outside, nor in the air, land, so many things. But he asked Brahma that, I don't want to die. Brahma said, sorry, I cannot give you that benediction. Even I have to die. What can I do to give that to you, So we can see that even for Lord Brahma, he has to give up this body. And Brahmaji, it's a post. So even if we come up to the position of Lord Brahma, sure, we will be the creator of the universe. And we have been Lord Brahma also at one time. It's just that we can't remember it right now. We have been demigods, we have been Brahma, we have been animals, we've been, all over and everywhere. We just can't remember it. So anyway, this was all the design of the Lord. So we can see how Krishna's pastimes are there, orchestrated, perfectly orchestrated. One may be very proud of his material advancement in knowledge, but he cannot be immune to the 4 principles of material existence, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. So no matter how much knowledge I get, no matter how many degrees I get, I'm still gonna get old, although I don't want to. I'm still gonna get disease, although I don't want to. And death, we are going to. So we don't need to, it's not that we don't get the material knowledge, we need it to maintain ourselves in this material world, but we should not be proud of it. That's the point. Because we do get puffed up with whatever we acquire. Oh, I have so much knowledge, or I have so much beauty, or I have so much influence, or whatever. Then we become proud. But the idea is, sure, we needed to maintain ourselves in the material world, but it's temporary, nothing for us to get proud about. It was the Lord's plan to teach people that even Hiranyakashipu, who was so powerful and strongly built, could not live more than his destined duration of life. One may become as strong and puffed up as Hiranyakashipu and bring under his control all the 3 worlds, but there is no possibility of continuing life eternally or keeping the conquered booty forever. So many emperors have ascended to power and they are now lost in oblivion. That is the history of the world. So this is what Krishna is trying to teach us by this pastime, that no matter how powerful we become, how many benedictions we get, our time in this body is temporary. I've heard one, who was that? Alexander, I think. Alexander, that he conquered over, so many different countries. He was really powerful, Alexander the Great. He was really powerful and he had a lot of riches. And then he got bit by a mosquito and he got malaria and he was going to die. And he told the doctors, do something. They said, sorry, we can't save you. Then he said, okay, when you're going to take my body in the procession, you keep my hands open so people can see that I'm going empty-handed. I can't take anything with myself. So it's true that we get so attached, we are here. It's easy to hear these things and say things, but when it comes to actually doing it, we are so attached. But anyway, this knowledge is there for us to understand. So then when we're going through certain difficulties in life, then it helps us to understand, oh, okay, anyway, it's temporary. Is that okay?
Yes.
Anyone wanted to add anything or comment anything?
No, all good.
Okay. So 20, Hiranyaksha Anujastasya priya priti krid anvaham gadapanir devam yato yoyotsur mrigayan ranam. So just one, I'm sorry. So we are going to be empty-handed. We are going to leave empty-handed. But that's the reason we are encouraged to hear and chant more and more, because that we can take with us. That is nothing to do with the body. That goes with us, never leaves us. That's permanent with us. The spiritual assets that we acquire. Because then in our journey means we are that much closer, that many steps closer to Krishna, that many steps closer to going back home. So reading the translation of this verse, his younger brother Hiranyaksha was always ready to satisfy his elder brother by his activities. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulder and traveled all over the universe with a fighting spirit just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. The demoniac spirit is to train all family members to exploit the resources of this universe for personal sense gratification, whereas the godly spirit is to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Hiranyakashipu was himself very powerful, and he made his younger brother Hiranyaksha powerful to assist him in fighting with everyone and lording it over material nature as long as possible. If possible, he wanted to rule the universe eternally. These are demonstrations of the spirit of the demoniac living entity. So when we want to use anything for our personal sense gratification, it's called demoniac. And godly spirit is to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Then we'll be screaming, I'm so demoniac, I have this. I have this tendency that I want to use everything for my personal sense gratification. Well, that's true. That's the reason we are here in the material world. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We would be in Vaikuntha otherwise, right? So, but because we have this tendency, we are here. Then what to do? We just hear and chant. We hear and chant. And then the more we hear and chant, the more we get attached to Krishna, and the more we will understand. So, and as the Isopanisad says, of course, take what you need for living peacefully in this world. We've been reading the Ishavasya principle. Everything belongs to the Lord, and he has provided enough for our maintenance, enough for us to live peacefully and happily here. So reading on, Tam Vikshya Duhu Sahajivam Ranat Kanchana Nupuram Veja Yantya Srija Justam Amsanyasta Mahagadam. Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold tinkling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland, and he rested his huge mace on one of his shoulders. So also very opulent, golden anklets, garland, and he had a huge mace. A mace, the gada, the mace that even Hanumanji, that he holds that also. So Manovirya Varo Siktam Ashrinyam Akuto Bhayam Bhita Nilil Ire Devas Tarkasya Trasta Ivahayaha. His mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods, therefore, were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves, even as snakes hide themselves, for fear of Garuda. So much power. He had so much influence that even the demigods, they were running. Indra, Chandra, they would hide. They would hide because they didn't want to fight with Hiranyaksha. He's so powerful. Mental and bodily strength. His mind was very strong. His physical body was strong, but he became proud. And he was not afraid of death. He didn't think, I'm gonna die. The asuras are generally strong-willed as described here, and therefore their mental condition is very sound, and their prowess is also extraordinary. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon, that they would not be killed by any other living entity within this universe, were almost immortal. And thus they were completely fearless because they knew nobody could kill them, nobody could harm them. They knew everyone is scared of them. Everybody is just waiting to do whatever they want them to do. So they became proud and they became fearless. Savaitiro hitan drishtva mahasasvena daityaraj sendran deva ganan shivan apashyan vyanadad prasham. On not finding Indra and the other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power, the chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had all vanished before his might, roared loudly. So from heavens, all the demigods, they ran away. They ran away and they were hiding like snakes are hiding in the holes. So what does it mean to show? That there is fear even in the Swarglok. There's fear even in the higher planetary systems. It's not that once we reach the higher planetary system, no more fear. Sure, there is more ways we can enjoy, more beauty, more wealth, the senses can enjoy more. But we can see here practically that even if we reach there, the fear that somebody else more powerful is going to harm me, that is still there. All the demigods, they were hiding behind, they had hidden because they were scared of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Also, it comes to mind another thing, that means everything is given to us by the Lord. The Lord wanted Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha to have a lot of power, a lot of money, everybody will be scared of them, so much influence. So each and everything is given to us by the Lord. Again, it goes to show that, not a sanction, not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. Not a blade of grass. So the will of the Lord. And we have to be confident in the supreme, in the benevolent will of the Lord. The Lord is most merciful. His will is the most loving. We just have to be able to receive it. We need to be able to receive the Lord's most merciful will, most benevolent will, understanding that He knows best what is good for me. We are like babies for Him. So tato nivrita kridisyan gambiram bhimanishwanam vijagahe mahasatvo vardhim makta iva dripaha. After returning from the heavenly kingdom, the mighty demon, who was like an elephant in wrath, for the sake of sport, dived into the deep ocean, which was roaring terribly. So he went to the heavens, means, it's the interplanetary travel. He could travel from one planet to another. He's so powerful. And then now he's diving in the Garbhodaka ocean. Dive deep into the ocean. This is the Garbhodaka ocean that he's diving in. Tasmin pravishte varunasya sainika yado ganaha sanadiyas sadvashaha. Hanyamana apitasya varchasa pradharshita durataram pradudruvuhu. On his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a blow. Materialistic demons sometimes appear to be very powerful and are seen to establish their supremacy throughout the world. Here also it appears that Hiranyaksha, by his demoniac strength, actually established his supremacy throughout the universe. And the demigods were afraid of his uncommon power. Not only were the demigods in space afraid of the demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, but so also were the aquatic animals within the sea. So everyone is afraid of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So something for us to learn. We are getting whatever opulence we have is given to us by the Lord. So then we should not become proud by it. All these pastimes in the Bhagavatam are there for us to understand. Oh, okay, everything is by the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is given me whatever. He's taking care of me, and so I shouldn't become proud of these things. As here, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha have become so proud. So again, like relating everything, seeing everything in connection with Krishna, seeing everything in connection with Krishna, that helps us to curb our pride. Savarsha Pugan Udadhav Mahabalas Charan Mahor Min Chwasane Ritan Muhu Morvya Bhi Jagne Gadaya Vibhavarim Ase Divamstat Purim Prache Tasaha. Moving about in the ocean for many, many years, the mighty Hiranyaksha smote the gigantic wind-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace and reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Varuna is supposed to be the predominating deities of the waters, and his capital, which is known as Vibhavari, is within the watery kingdom. So, Varuna Dev is the lord of the water. Vibhavari is his kingdom. Tatropal Labhyasura Loka Palakam Yado Gananam Rishabham Prachetasam Smayan Pralabdhum Pranipatya Nichavaj Jagada Mehi Me Dehi Adhiraj Samyugam. Vibhavari is the home of Varuna, lord of the aquatic creatures and the guardian of the lower regions of the universe, where the demons generally reside. There, Hiranyaksha fell at Varuna's feet like a low-born man, and to make fun of him, he said with a smile, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." The demoniac person always challenges others and tries to occupy others' property by force. Here, these symptoms are fully displayed by Hiranyaksha, who begged war from a person who had no desire to fight. So Hiranyaksha, he's like kind of mocking. He knows Varuna is not going to fight with him, but he just wants to make fun of him. So he says, "Oh, Supreme Lord, you fight with me. I want to fight with you," and falling down at his feet. So mocking, being sarcastic. So we can see that being sarcastic, mocking, these are not very good qualities. And so we should try not to indulge in these things, make fun of another person. So we should try not to do these things. Challenges others, challenging, and try to occupy others' property by force. So here are a few demoniac qualities which are mentioned. And then we should try to see how, if we have them, how we could, get out of them, kind of.
Is Julelal and Varun the same?
Varuna Dev and Julelal, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. Because I've never heard of Varuna Dev, of Julelal in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but I know that the Sindhis believe that Julelal is
he emerged from the water. No?
He emerged from the water. But I don't know if they say that he is the Lord of the water or no. I'm not sure actually. If they think that he's the Lord of the water or just that he came from the water, like he's the son of the sea, or is he the demigod of the sea himself? I'm not sure. Yeah, but Varuna Dev, he's in charge of the water, the palette, because we were hearing the universal form and how the different demigods were in different charge of different things. So there also Lord Varuna was mentioned, that he's in charge of the water.
And then the part will come, right? That Hiranyaksha takes the earth down into the water. He hides it.
Yeah, because now
It's
he's
coming.
telling Varuna Dev that I want to fight with you, you fight with me. But we are going to hear now what Varuna Dev replies him.
Okay.
And yeah. So Tvam Lokapalo Deepatir Rava Virya Paho Durmada Viramaninam Vijitya Loke Khila Daitya Danavan Yad Rajasuyena Pura Yajat Prabho. You are the guardian of an entire sphere and a ruler of wide fame, having crushed the might of arrogant and conceited warriors, and having conquered all the Daityas and Danavas in the world, you once performed a Rajasuya sacrifice to the Lord. So Hiranyaksha is telling to Varun Dev that you did this Rajasuya sacrifice, you conquered all the Daityas and Danavas, you have crushed the might of arrogant and conceited warriors, you're guardian of an entire sphere and a ruler of wide fame. So he's praising, Hiranyaksha is praising Varun Dev to tell him, okay, that before you had done, you had conquered, because he wants to tell him, oh, fight with me, fight with me. So evam utsiktam adena vidvisa dridam pralabdho bhagavan apampatihi rosham samutham shamayan swayadhiya vayo vachad angopashamam gatavayam. Thus, mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew no bounds, the worshipful Lord of the waters waxed angry. But by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger that had sprung up in him, and he replied, "O dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." As we see, warmongering materialists always create fighting without reason. So Varuna Dev, he didn't want to unnecessarily fight. So he became angry. He became angry because Hiranyaksha is being sarcastic with him. He's mocking him, and he's enticing him to do something very unnecessary. But he managed to control his anger. He managed to control it. He said, I'm too old, I don't have I cannot fight now. I'm very old. He didn't want to fight without a reason. So Pashyami Nayanam Purushat Puratanad Yas Samyoge Tvam Rana Marga Kovidam Aradha Yeshyati Asura Behitam Manasvino Yam Granate Bhavadrashaha. You are so skilled in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in battle to you. Therefore, O chief of the Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention with praise. So Varun Dev is saying, you are so strong and you are so skilled that only Lord Vishnu will be your equal to fight. Like other demigods, Indra and all the other demigods. They have been so scared to even fight with you that they ran away before Hiranyaksha could fight with them. They just ran away. Aggressive materialistic warriors are actually punished by the Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessarily disturbing world peace. Therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyaksha that the right course to satisfy his fighting spirit would be to seek to fight with Vishnu. So Varun Dev is telling him, okay, you go look for Vishnu. Any comments? Anything to add?
What is Danavas?
Danav, Daitya, Danav, demons.
Daitya is demon, but Dana?
Danav also is
Also,
in that category. Let's see.
okay.
What is that? So, where is that?
It was, I think, 2 verses earlier.
Yeah, so similar category.
Similar, right? Okay.
Yeah. So we just have this one. Shall we finish this?
Yeah.
Tam viram arad abhipadya vishmayaha Shashishya sevira shaye svabhirvitaha yastvad vidhanam asatam prashantaye rupani dhate sat anu grahechaya. Varun continued, on reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once and will lie down on the field of battle surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you and to show his grace to the virtuous that he assumes his various incarnations like Varaha. So here Varun Dev is already showing, he's already, showing that Varaha Dev is going to appear. He's already giving them an indication. Asuras do not know that their bodies consist of the 5 elements of material nature, and that when they fall, they become objects of pastimes for dogs and vultures. So what is trying to be said is that we get prideful of our body, of whatever we have. But do we understand that after we give up the body, what's going to happen? Either it's going to be burnt, become ashes, or it's going to be left to eat by animals. We don't understand that. But yet, till the time we are in the body, we are thinking that it's me, not realizing one day we have to give up this body. So Varun advised Hiranyaksha to meet Vishnu in his boar incarnation so that his hankering for aggressive war would be satisfied with his powerful body, and his powerful body would be vanquished. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. So right now Hiranyaksha is the most supreme person in the universe. Everyone else is afraid of him. Till what we have read. So we'll stop here for today. Any other comments or anything?
No.
Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for listening in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Krishna, Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.